I think something we don't do enough is following. We don't sit there. They say Napoleon, anytime before he went to war, he would take a week, sit in a room with a lot of paper and stuff to write on, and he would just strategize, okay? What if we did this? What if the enemy did this? What's their strength? Who's the strength here? Who's the best general here? Who does he have? How many soldiers did he have? Which one? And then he would look at the maps and think about the quality of maps back then, terrain, like the mountains, the water, all this stuff. You don't have the kind of map that we have today. So he's using, low quality stuff that it's just, hey, I think this is what it looks like and it's this many miles away and this many kilometers away. But he would sit there. Then he would come back out and have a meeting with his soldiers and say, hey, here's what we're going to be doing. You and your soldiers are going here. This unit, you're going here. If they attack from here is this. The strength of this army is this. The strength of the army is this. Here's what they're going to be doing. This is the seasons. Who's trained to be able to do this? You guys have been most prepared to go in the mountain terrain. You're going to go here. You guys have been most for forest. You're going to go here. You guys have been in the cold. You guys. So then he would put his plan of action, and then he would go out, and they would ask him and say, hey, Napoleon, whose strategy do you use the most when it comes down to war? You know what his answer was? No one's. That's what made him predictable, unpredictable, right? So the enemy didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Because if you reveal you're using someone's strategy, guess what the enemy's going to do? I know exactly what your next move's going to be. Then there's that element of, I know exactly what you're going to do, so I know how to pivot myself. So in life, it's the same exact thing. And by the way, this isn't about being a billionaire. This isn't about being a millionaire. This isn't about Ferraris and Lambos and 20,000 square foot homes on the ocean. And this isn't about that. This isn't about having dinner with the presidents and all. Nope. This is you. There's 7.5 billion people living in the world. There's no one in the world that's more important than you, to you. What I mean by, I don't mean selfishly. I mean, no, my son, I'm spending time with him right now. Today was at the office and they just left right now. We're at lunch. We're having this seafood, right? I'm having some oysters and he's sitting there in the corner. From the moment he sat down, he knew what he wanted. He wanted to play the Santa Claus game. Do you know how many times he asked me, Dad, can I play the Santa Claus game? Dad, can I play the Santa Claus game? Can I play it now? I said, Dad, 1 minute, Dad, I'm on the phone. 1 minute later, Dad, it's been a minute. Can I play the game now? Can I play the game? He is so persistent. It's ridiculous how many times he asked me what he wants. His brother's slightly different. His sister's slightly different. What he likes, my middle one doesn't like. My youngest doesn't. My youngest temperament is demanding. She wants everything. You better respect what she wants. So as these guys age, I can't say, hey, why don't you go be an entrepreneur like your dad? It's not going to be the case. They're all going to be different because the most important person that matters in the equation of knowing what you want to do next is who? You. That's all that matters. So if I sit down in quiet time and I say, let's just say I'm Bobby, Johnny, Patrick, Hafiz, whoever you are, you're sitting there saying, what do I really want to do? Let me tell you, when I grew up, I remember when I was going through this and I saw Foster and da-da-da-da-da. Here's what I want to do. Yesterday, I interviewed a guy that's a former CIA agent. I don't know if you've seen the movie Jack Ryan. He's the real-life Jack Ryan.
Wow.
Former CIA agent that was a pararescue agent that's now, his entire mission today is human trafficking. Why human trafficking? Like, why did he wake up one day want to do human trafficking? Foster care is where he came out of. 60% of human trafficking comes out. So look at the connection of what drove him to want to do that.
Yeah.
Make sense?
100%.
I grew up extremely poor. I grew up not having anything. I'm a welfare kid. I escaped Iran to come here. So politically, why am I such a protector of capitalism and entrepreneurship? Because I've been on the other side where you can't say anything. You better be quiet. You got to walk on eggshells. But that's my story. What's yours? What's the individual's? I think very, very rarely do people take the most important time out of the life, which is your time out. And you sit there quietly and say, okay, I'm 28 years old. What have I done so far?
Yeah.
Not much. I'm not happy with it. I'm 42 years old. What's the next move? And then you sequence it out and then you go execute.